The city of Seattle has lost 19% of its small rental properties in the last 5 years. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's coming out of the city of Seattle. Now, I talk about Seattle a lot. I mean, a whole lot, because they are one of the places where they have some of the craziest anti-landlord laws I've seen. And those laws have had a major effect, especially on small mom and pop landlords. So they did an audit recently, and they found out that the city has lost 19% of the 1 to 4 unit properties in the last 5 years. Now, 1 to 4 unit properties, they're very important, and they really are a key indicator of small mom and pop landlords. Local landlords who are renting a very small number of units own the majority of 1 to 4 unit buildings, okay? The large landlords, they own the big apartment complexes, okay? But small mom and pop landlords in general own 1 to 4 unit because they're the easiest ones to finance, and they are the easiest ones to self-manage. But those are the properties that are being driven out of the city of Seattle. That's insane. And a lot of the landlords there are saying the same thing. They're saying that, hey, it's the government regulations. It's the new regulations that they, created. I guess they were trying to target these big corporate landlords, right? But the corporate landlords are the ones who are easily able to comply with the new regulations, okay? The small mom and pops who are self-managing, not only is it hard for them to keep track of all the changes in the laws, but they find it, being able just to follow the law is too difficult. So they're just selling. They're getting out of that business. And I can't blame them one bit. And this is exactly what I suggest they do. Okay? So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Are you surprised that 1 out of every 5 small mom and pop landlords has decided to quit the business in the city of Seattle? Okay? And I want you to keep in mind that the majority of the affordable housing, the naturally occurring affordable housing within the cities everywhere throughout the entire country is from small mom and pop landlords. We're the ones who are keeping rents below market levels. But when you tell a landlord, hey, we're, not only are you not allowed to evict these tenants, but you can't even raise your rent up to the market level ever because that would be wrong. Well, you know what? A lot of landlords, we're just getting out of the business. We're not going to deal with this nonsense. I just own one little house, and I'm just going to sell it to some owner occupants, and that's what's happening up there. Okay, so I'm going to go read part of the article, but what really caught my mind about all of this was the comments that people were putting down below, and a lot of landlords local to the Seattle area, they actually commented about this article because they caught their eye as well. So let's get into it. This article is coming from CapitolHillSeattle.com, and it says, audit shows Seattle's house and small building rental market is dwindling, down 19% in 5 years. Man, that's a huge difference for such a short period of time, okay? Like, a lot of the regulations that have been put in place were within the last 5 years, and that quickly, small units are just disappearing. So anyway, let's get into it. A report on Seattle's rental housing shows the city's experiencing consolidation of ownership with larger property owners and a quickly shaping decline in small rental properties ranging from fourplexes to single-family style homes. The report from the Department of Construction and Inspections, utilizing data from the Rental Registration and Inspection Ordinance Program, was presented to the Seattle City Council's Housing and Human Services Committee Wednesday as part of an audit to improve the program. The registration program has struggled with technical limitations and resources, and the audit found oversight of the program required landlords to register properties and undergo inspections has weakened, City Auditor David Jones said. So yeah, obviously when these programs are first implemented, right, they are, very robust, but as time passes, they become more and more lax, right? And usually what they do with that situation is they will start increasing the inspection fees and hiring more so they can hire more inspectors, right? But that's only going to further, create further problems. It's going to drive more landlords out of the business. The more awful the inspection process is, the more expensive the inspection process is, the less people are going to want to participate in it. So they required landlords to register their properties, and they just said, hey, we're noticing that the number of 1 to 4 unit properties is declining. I'm not surprised. I could have told you this was going to happen. In fact, you know what? I did tell you this was going to happen in all my other videos about all of the ridiculous regulations they have within the city of Seattle. I said, hey, you're just going to drive landlords out of the business. They're going to sell to owner occupants. They're going to convert their units over to condos. They're going to do anything they can except for continue to be landlords and then take this sort of punishment. So, yeah. It's crazy to think that it probably never occurred to them that this was even a possibility. They thought, oh yeah, we could put all this landlords and all this crap regulations on them, and they will just sit there and just take it, pay out of their pockets so that the tenants can live for free. Yeah, that's going to happen. Landlords with smaller holdings, including many single property owners, have said it is becoming increasingly difficult to continue renting in the city as regulation requirements have increased, making it more likely that the properties will be sold to a smaller and smaller market of larger real estate and development companies. The city has convened a small landlord stakeholder group to try to stem the tide. Yeah, they're going to create this stakeholder group, but it's too late, okay? They've already, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. They don't like landlords. They don't like property owners. If you own a single family house that you're renting out, or even if you own a house where you're renting a spare room, right? You're the bad guy. You're the bad guy because you can afford a home and the renters can't. So they're going to punish you just like they would the multi-billion-dollar corporation that owns thousands of units. They're going to punish you the exact same way. They don't make any differentiation between a small landlord and a big landlord when they're passing these laws. Okay? So face the facts. Get out while you can. Let them suffer. I don't care. Let the city decline. Let the number of rental units disappear. Okay? It just doesn't matter. Focus on yourself. Invest somewhere where you can make money, and don't waste your time trying to change the law because the place is run by a bunch of greedy socialists, okay, who want everything for free and they want to take away what you own. Don't let it happen. That's what I say. Don't let it happen. Focus on yourself. So I'm going to skip down to the comments because I thought the comments were just great for this article, okay? And there were a lot of local landlords local to the Seattle area who commented, and they had some great insights, and I want to read some of them, okay? It says, Hill Possum said, ultimately, this is what we're aiming for, right? No more single-family zoning, increasing number of 5/1s. The denser the occupation of a plot, the more likely it is to have a large building with a management company running the day-to-day, right? And so, a lot of the progressives, that's what they want. They don't want small mom-and-pop landlords. They want dense skyscrapers everywhere, but, you forget that small mom-and-pops, local people, they don't operate skyscrapers. Okay, the only people operating that are these corporations, and they're going to push the rents as high as they can, and they're only going to build luxury because that's the only thing that actually makes money in a place like Seattle where the land is so expensive. So when you lose a single family home and you replace it with a bunch of luxury high rises, that's not going to benefit the tenants who need affordable housing. That's only going to benefit the people who have the money to be able to afford to live in these luxury high rises. Okay? Jules James says a survey where 3/4 of the landlords regard the city regulations to be difficult to follow did not offer the choice of impossible to follow. City Hall behaves as if landlords should not control the product, customer selection, or the price. There is no pleasure in that for owner-operators. So fee managers take over, causing tenants to pay an extra 15% while receiving a much less quality motivated product. Glad that City Hall is at least willing to study the unintended consequences of its wrong-minded legislation. Yeah, and very good point right there. Okay, so yeah, they didn't give the option of, hey, you know, it's impossible to follow all these rules and regulations. We can't. And a lot of landlords are saying that. They're saying, hey, this is too much. It's too much. There's too many new rules. There's too many new regulations. And you know, you just can't go along with it. So let me find another one here. Let me see. There's some very long ones, and you know, of course, I'll put a link to the article in the description so that you can read these comments yourselves, because there's, you know, a lot of really good ones, right? And it says, let me see if I can find one from a local person. It says, well, this one is from a person named Dan. He says, I was previously renting my one-bedroom condo in Capitol Hill with parking and washer-dryer in unit for $1,650, which I was continuously told was under the market value. But I liked and empathized with my tenant and wanted to keep him in the unit. However, with annual increases in property taxes, HOA dues, insurance dues, because of building break-ins, etc., I ended up losing money on the unit, and the burden of renting my condo became too much of a headache. So before my tenant's lease was up, I let him know that the unit was going up for sale. Unless you have multiple units or an entire complex being rented out, it does not make fiscal sense to be a small-owned landlord in this city. So yeah, you heard it right there. Local landlords like, hey, you know, I tried to make it work. I was trying to keep prices low for the tenant because I empathize with their situation, and you know, the government slammed me anyway. Okay, the government of Seattle slammed you anyway, punished you for doing the right thing, punished you for being a good landlord, and your only option at that point is just get out of the business and leave. Okay, and this is somebody who owns one unit. Okay, this isn't some huge corporation, but from the viewpoint of a socialist, right? If you own one unit, well, oh man, you're one of the rich ones who got more than us poor renters, so you need to be punished. That's the way they see things. So yeah, this is a really good article, a lot of insight and information. I hope that you know, some other people who are more local to the area, who make YouTube videos like Sean Reynolds, chime in and tell me what they think. But you know, I'll just say right now that I saw this coming. I saw this coming, and this will happen everywhere where these sort of ridiculous regulations are put into place.